An alternative to the Venn diagram method for finding the least common multiple is called the stack method. How the stack method works is if I want to find the least common multiple for maybe 15 and 20, like we did a few videos ago, we could type the 15 and the 20 right next to each other, and then we're going to draw an upside down division bar and ask, what can I divide both of these by? Both of these are divisible by 5, which leaves behind a 3, because 3 times 5 is 15, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. What's nice about the stack method is if there's nothing else that I can divide both of those numbers by, we just have to multiply all these numbers on the outside, 5 times 3 times 4, to get the least common multiple of 60. Let's take a look at another example. Let's do 54 and 90. Well, I'll put 54 and 90 next to each other, and I'll ask myself, what can I divide them both by? Well, since they're both even, I can divide them both by 2, and that leaves me with 27 and 45. Both of those numbers can be divisible by 3. When I divide them both by 3, we get 9 and 15. Both of those numbers are divisible by 3. When I do, I get 3 and 5. And there's nothing else that I can divide both of those numbers by. The least common multiple, then, is the product of all the numbers on the outside. 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 5, which when multiplied together gives me 270. This also works with variables. Let's say I've got 6x squared z and 8x cubed y squared. Well, if I put them next to each other, 6x squared z and 8x cubed y squared, I can look at what I can divide both of these by. Looking at the numbers, 6 and 8 are divisible by 2, which leaves behind a 3, and we still have the x squared z, and a 4, and we have the x cubed y squared. But we can also divide out variables. Both of these have an x in common. In fact, they all have at least 2 x's that I can divide out. I can't divide 3 out of the first one, so 2 is the most they have in common. It's the smallest exponent on the variable they share. When I divide out the x squared, the first one is left with 3z, and the second one is left with 4xy squared. Now they have nothing in common, so I can just take the outsides and multiply them together. 2x squared times 3z times 4xy squared. Multiplying the numbers, 2 times 3 times 4 is 24. Looking at the x's, I've got 2 x's, and another x gives me x cubed multiplied in. There's also a y squared and a z. So my least common multiple is 24x cubed y squared z.